What is up, guys? Stevie, we're scotching things. Hey, I've got a couple other videos I need to upload, but I wanted to get this one up first. I've got the an ADV and a DOC video, but already ready to go. But I think I wanted to get this one up, so this weekend I'm just wait. Hang to the end. Well, you'll see. But this one's gonna be kind of a story time. So what's in the pocket today? Monkey Edge SNG and the Shirogorov Soft Overkill. Probably the best, the smoothest, and the best sounding knife. I mean, you know, when a knife makes a good sound, it makes a good sound. I need to do an update on that because that's an excellent knife. Shoot, I was gonna say something. Out running errands. Real quick, we got to leave at like 1. Daughter's got a track meet today, but it's snowing and 30 degrees out. So it's thank goodness it's an indoor track meet at a college about an hour away. Let's do some work stuff real quick. Maybe if some of you guys follow me on Instagram, you saw a story yesterday, or you see when I get done with a job, I always post the job up. When we finish this bin, the job's done. And then you see me, if you watched, I had a story, we're back tearing the floor out and putting it back in. I just kind of wanted to explain that. Most bins have what we call like a false floor. They have like a drying floor, they call them. It's a false floor. There's supports under there, and then the floor sits on the supports because there's fans that sit on the bin and will blow air in to help, one, dry down the grain, keep the grain cool so it doesn't get too hot, stuff like that. So, and most companies sell, so most bin, and so like if you buy, so you have to buy a bin from a dealer, right? You can't just go to the manufacturer. You have to go through a dealer, and they sell you a package, and usually it's cheaper. Like they sell the whole, they want to use all their stuff, right? Their bin, their shell, you know, their floor, their supports, their fans, their unloads, and you get a deal on a package, right? And that's good and bad because there's parts and pieces of each company I like better. And this guy sold, so this brand, Chief, started using a floor. They make their own floor, but then a couple of years ago they started using this floor out of Canada, which is really just an identical copy to this other company's floor. Anyway, but then they sell a support with that. For some reason they bought the floor, but then they didn't go with those supports. They went with another type of support company out of Iowa. Great, whatever. And we actually like these supports, but the engineers have figured this all out, like how much a floor can take, right? It depends on how tall, you know. You gotta think that grain is super heavy, and there's a lot of it in there. So they've figured out how, you know, what the spacing for those supports needs to be to keep that floor from crushing down. And so this floor came with no spacing chart, no nothing. Called the manufacturer twice, and they're like, well, you know, it's not our supports, so we can't, you know, we're not gonna say anything, because if it were to go down, they wouldn't warranty it. Called the dealer who sold it twice, and he was like, oh, you know, it's not my job chasing information, right? I spend a lot of my time chasing information, calling dealers. And one of my dealers actually, you know, their salesman was really bad at it, and he would never answer his phone, and he's gone now. So hopefully the flow of information will go better, because, you know, you're always chasing someone. If it's a part shortage or something is like these, you know, you get supports, you know, and you've got no information, no spacing, you have no clue. Finally call the company in Iowa, give them the type of bin, the height of the bin, you know, all the good stuff, everything they need. They give me the spacing. Perfect. We put the floor in, get the job done, and then thank God we got done really late, and it was dark, and I didn't want to move trailers in the dark. And you saw that one video last week. I did move one trailer, but it was a trailer. It wasn't a tool trailer. It was just jack, so we didn't really need that. But my tool trailer, my telehandler, everything we left on site. And all of a sudden, then we took, you know, last Friday off because the weather was so crappy. Get a call from the dealer because I called him again because we have all these supports left over, and usually we have some. They always send extra, right, in case one is damaged or this or that. He's like, hey, what'd they give you for spacing? I was like, 20 inches. It's 15 inches. 5 inches. That's a big freaking deal. I'm like, all right. And I really like the farmer, you know, super nice guy. But also you want to do the right thing. What's the right thing to do? We'll yank that floor out and fix it. But there's a caveat. Who's paying for that, right? Costs a lot of money to run my crew. These guys make pretty good money. So he was like, and I told him, I said, and too bad this wasn't, say, this manufacturer. They're really good for, if there's a screw up that costs you time, they'll pay you to fix it and pay you loss of time. But it wasn't. We're talking about a third party, right? And I'm like, too bad. Such and such bin company is really good when something happens and about taking care of you if it was their fault. So he goes through and he's like, well, what's it going to cost? I said, I cut him a break. Usually everything's done. Most everything we do is done by weight, right? How much something weighs times our price. And I'm like, it's going to cost, I should have charged the weight to take the floor out and put the floor back in. We're looking at roughly around $9,000. Sounds crazy, but it is what it is. So he's like, I said, I'll cut you a break. I'll take the floor out for $2,000 because we got to pull everything out of the bin, re-chalk line the bin to get the correct spacing, put everything back in the bin. Then he's like, all right. And sorry, we're 7 minutes in. I'll get to the fun stuff in a minute. This is a fun story time though. You know, they go back and forth, and this guy wanted the dealer to pay half, and it wasn't his screw up. It was his company's. They gave me the wrong information. Finally, they admitted that they gave me the wrong information. Then he wanted, you know, like I said, the dealer to split half the cost, and then the dealer sends me a text. He's like, hey, can you call the guy? I'm like, all right. So I called the guy, and he was really kind of standoffish. I'm like, well, what's, you know, it's got to come out. And he's like, yeah. And he was just quiet, and he wouldn't really talk. I'm like, well, what's, you know, and he's like, well, I thought me and Rick were taking care of this. I'm like, whatever, let me know. So finally he said he agrees to the price, and just frustrating. But he wanted pictures of old spacing, new space, like he didn't believe like we were pulling the floor out or whatever. So send him all that stuff. Send him a bill today. We'll see how long it takes him to pay it. Because I will drive my ass to Iowa to get my $7,500. So, not bad. Day's work. It sounds like a lot, but my guys kicked ass on it yesterday. Thank God, because it's, like I said, it's snowing and raining today. So there's that fun story. It was really frustrating though, you know, because it's a brand new floor, and you hate to rip out a brand new floor, and the floors they snap together, and you're pulling, so you're stretching the metal, so it's, you know, we screw into it, the flashing, and so now there's all these extra holes, and just a real nightmare. But took care of it, got it done, and now 9 minutes in, if you hung around for this, I'm thinking of doing a major knife sale. I've talked about this before. I'm using that clicker and it's helping me, but sometimes I'll skip over stuff because I just don't feel like carrying it. And I've talked about, like, the collection almost starts to feel like kind of a burden. So I think this weekend I'm gonna have a huge blowout sale. what's on the chopping block. I made a list and I forgot it at home. So stay tuned if you're interested in any of this stuff. I think I might let that Project X go. Awesome one-off knife, but for the price, you know, $2,000 for that card series knife, I can get just a regular Project X, because Dave is doing some really cool stuff with his. He put studs on it, and I don't feel like, you know, voiding a $2,000 knife to, I could just get a plain Jane one and be completely happy with it. And honestly, I think I'd rather have the S45 if I could find an older one than the Magna Cut. That's just me. But I think a regular one. I think it's a cool display piece, and I want to keep it, but I might let it go. Like I keep him hawing. I made this list. I think I might let the Dua go. And I'm not charging extra. Some stuff is cheaper than I paid for it. Some stuff is, I'm just trying to get what I got in it. I think I might, not the Dua, I'm sorry, the Tiga. I like the knife. There's just a couple things about it that, you know, it's, I don't know. Maybe it needs to go in for a regrind, like Dave said. It's just different enough from the other Gray Mans that it's an exceptional knife, but there's just other stuff I'd rather carry. So I'm gonna try and, like I said, slim down my collection, because I'm just tired of having this stuff just sit there. And just, I carry what I carry, you know. I carry a lot of Striders. I carry my Shiros I got. I just rather, there's other stuff I'd rather carry, and I'm just gonna carry that, and there's just money tied up there that I could turn into other knives. I think I'm gonna let the Direware Tail Whip go. I might let the Direware Solo go, or the Hyper Knife. I can't remember. I don't know. I'm gonna let one of them go, I think. God, I made a huge list. And then I can't remember. What else? There's the Zermino Tier. Excellent knife. It needs, I'll let that thing go for, I'm gonna take a couple $100 hit on it. Great knife, but there's other stuff I'd rather carry. Because it needs an edge. It came dull as crap from the factory. Probably let that one go. What is my list, and why can't I think of it now? Oh, but stay tuned. So if you're interested in any of those knives I mentioned, hit me up, or stay tuned for the video this weekend, and we will see. I'm trying to really think what else. Oh, my arm got tired. What else was I going to let go? Quite a bit. There was quite a bit of stuff on my move. Just to kind of free some room up. Might let that Medford Midi Marauder go. I like it. It's an awesome knife. I love the Tanto on it. It carries great, but again, there's other stuff I'd rather carry. Other Medfords I'd rather carry. I'm just trying to go through my list right now, and I can't think of what else I'm gonna move. So, but stay tuned for this weekend, and you'll see that video. But that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.